I got stopped on the golf course for a DUI, which was nonsense. We found that out. It's been addressed. Golf course handled it great. Not going to name the golf course because they handled it so well that I don't even know if the officers have jobs.
Right.
But I was just curious if you can explain to me what constitutes a DUI.
Yeah. So some people say DWI because in other states it's called DWI. Here in Florida we say DUI, driving under influence. So the law divides DUI up into two elements, but the law doesn't really do a good job on paper defining what a DUI is. A DUI is really three different things, okay? The first thing is you have to be in actual physical control of a motor vehicle, all right? It sounds simple if you just read it or someone says that's what it is, but it's not that simple. So actual physical control doesn't mean you're behind the wheel, car's running, your hands on the wheel. It's not what it means. We have expanded that meaning, and really courts by and large hate DUIs. When I mean hate, like they want to punish people for DUIs, so they have no problem expanding what these words mean. So actual physical control at this point in time can mean you're asleep in the car and the keys are behind you. If you have the ability to, in a very few amount of steps, start the car up and get moving, you're in actual physical control, even if the car is not running. So you could be outside the car. I had a case just like this where the car door is open, person's outside the car. I'm not going to say what they were doing outside the car, but they were outside the car. Car was on, and the dude was held to be in actual physical control. The only scenario that you got to think of is if the keys are outside the car, or if you are outside the car with the keys, then that breaks the chain. So if you're sitting on the tailgate of a truck and the keys are with you, you're not in actual physical control. If you are inside the car trying to sleep it off, but the keys are outside the car, you're not in actual physical control. So there's tons of people who they'll pull into parking lots, trying to sleep it off, trying to be careful themselves. If you leave the keys in the car, you're in actual physical control. So actual physical control of a motor vehicle. Here's what a motor vehicle is. It's anything that can run on its own power. So a motor vehicle can be one of these battery operated bikes. That could be considered a motor vehicle. It's anything that can operate on its own power, that you're not having to push like bike pedals. Golf cart operates on its own power. So golf cart qualifies for motor vehicle. Okay, so you're in actual physical control of a motor vehicle while under the influence, right? We're going to call this number 2. This is element number 2. Under the influence of what? You have to be under the influence of either alcohol or a controlled substance. If you are under the influence of coffee, that does not count. If you're under the influence of, Mountain Dew, you're all juiced up on Mountain Dew, that doesn't count, What was not Mountain Dew, there was another one that was even crazier than Mountain Dew.
Oh, I mean, it would have alcohol in it too, but Four Loko.
Right.
Four Loko did a lot of damage.
That counts as number 2. Yeah? So you have to be under the influence of alcohol or controlled substance. You cannot be tired, or this is one of the ones that people, you really need to know that this happens. Number 2 is crazy. Okay, there are tons and tons of people that I represent or I see their case in court that were not acting this way because they were drunk or on drugs. They were literally just crazy. Think about how many crazy people we got in Pensacola. I mean, just literally, those people can have a driver's license and drive around.
And vote.
And vote.
Yeah.
So it's that number 1, actual physical control of motor vehicle. Number 2, under the influence of alcohol or controlled substance. And number 3 is you got to be so much under the influence that your normal faculties are impaired. So those are the 3 things. The law kind of divides it up. If you read the definition, it only divides it up into 2, but the best way to think of it is 3. The under the influence to the point it impacts your normal faculties. Your normal faculties are the ability to judge distance, drive an automobile, walk, talk, see, react to different things. Just basically the tools that we use to operate in normal life. Okay? Here's the big part of a DUI case. The state has to prove that I am so messed up that my normal faculties are impaired. My ability to walk, talk, drive, judge distances, react to things, make decisions. But the way that they do that is they show you how my abnormal faculties, how my ability to walk in a single line, touching heel to toe for 9 steps and then do a crazy turn and come back is affected. Or my ability to hold my foot up for 30 seconds, 6 inches off the ground while my hands are at my side, counting out loud. See, none of those things are normal. It's not like you go down to Publix and you see someone just, in the meat aisle, foot out, 1, 2, 3, 4. We use these abnormal tests to prove that my normal faculties are impaired. See, the reality is, if they really wanted to prove if someone's normal faculties are straight or not straight, they would get them out of the car and say, okay, I'm going to set up my camera a straight line, and what I want you to do is stand at the front of your car. I'm going to be about 20 yards back. Just go ahead and walk to me. Let's see how they walk. Okay, now they're here. Man, let's have a conversation. Tell me what books you read as a kid.
That makes a lot more sense. I can see an officer in Publix and walk straight into a shelf and knock off some Cheerios. It's just being in the presence of an officer can make my balance. You know what I'm saying? And that's
your
not
heart starts racing.
It's not a knock against officers. It's just I can't control that.
Man, one of the first things that a DUI officer is going to do is they're going to say that when you were getting your license and your registration, you were confused or you were fumbling around. Okay? Do you think that's real, or do you think people are so terrified of having that cop by their window, and in their mind they don't know how this is going to end? What are they doing? They're thinking of the worst possible ways this is going to end. At the same time, they're trying to look through their napkins, pens, God knows what else, in their glove box, try to get these documents that they have never seen, but for the day that they got them.
Yep. Yeah. It's only since we've started talking that I have everything ready to go. I do.
Please.